If you're a drifter or you love all things drift, then this video is for you, because I'm going to be showing you how to run water spray kits on your drift car. Basically, it's going to be a budget version, pretty much as cheap as I possibly can do it. A couple brand new parts, but very, very cheap. I've already been on a little trip today. I've gone to Bunnings, I've got our water jets, I've got our T-piece and a little 90 degree. It's going to help us mount up our water jets. I've got some hose and I've just gone to our local wreckers and picked up a perfect canister for our water. This is out of a BMW X5. It holds 7.8 litres. Unfortunately, the washer bottle I did grab did not have motors inside them, so I had to do a little bit of searching and ended up finding some in a Jeep. Luckily they worked, just a little bit of testing. Ended up putting power to them, make sure the motors work, and they actually worked perfectly. So here it is. This is our water bottle and we are putting this in our boot. We're going to be running water sprayers to our radiator just to keep the car cool, and then our tyres to essentially save money. Because when you're drifting, if you're doing hot laps and you go lap after lap after lap, your tyres get super hot, they deteriorate and they delaminate. So with these water sprayers, you'll be essentially saving money. Alrighty, we are in the workshop now and we're about to just do a quick check of how the washer bottle actually fits. Let's go like that. And that to me is pretty much perfect. So obviously we can use that hole there and just make a bracket for our bash bar setup. I'm gonna do that now. Just legit, I to mark it and drill the hole and put a bolt and a nut, and that's one hole done. And then I'll have to make a CAD template out of cardboard, and that's the second hole done. There's only 2 mounting points of this washer bottle, so I might want to have somehow make a third one that supports it, because it might not be sturdy enough, because this car does do a few jumps every now and then by accident. Anyway, let's get to drilling our hole. The 33 is now on the hoist, and as you can see, we've got some manky MIG welds. That's with no water in it right now, and so it's pretty bloody loose. I've got some more 50mm by 5mm thick, and we're gonna basically make a plate like this that goes to the back of the firewall. Gonna do a bend right there and have it come flat, and this one here, and we're gonna weld them together, and that'll brace our water up when it has 8 litres of water in, and it'll be perfect. Alrighty, we're all done with our bracket. I tried to give it a lick of paint, but the can broke, and I still tried to do it anyway, and it was terrible. So that's cool. But I ended up welding on a nut to the bottom of this bracket here, nut bottom over there, and that's all ready to go. So sturdy. I couldn't find any rubber, but I did find this styrofoam and slammed it on. Look at that, perfect. So get this guy, drop it on, right there. Bloody perfect. We're trying to work out where our nozzles are going to be mounted so we can figure out our spray pattern onto our tyres. I have the wheels off, and basically I got the wheel sits about there and there. So I'm thinking a metal bar off of here and spraying on a diagonal plane towards the tyre. I originally wanted to mount it up in here somewhere, but there's too much rubber and it's probably going to end up clogging up really bad. So I've got this little contraption here, got the battery with some wires going to the motors, and I wanted to test how it actually sprays from this section. It's not too bad, but it's not getting the outer edge at all, if you can see that. And a lot of the time that is a part of the tire that gets probably the hottest, especially on long sweeping corners. On this car, especially with my alignment, I burn off more of this side here sometimes. So I'm not happy with that. I really want to mount it up here now. But that's just in the danger zone of rubber spraying it. So I'm thinking just now, for convenience, I'm actually just gonna make a plate, goes from here to there, weld it to that, and I'm just gonna have it right there, spraying to the tire, so there's the best possible spray onto the tire to cool it down as best as possible. But I'm just have to check it, and if it does end up blocking it up, I can always just relocate it where the sprayers go. I'm gonna quickly start making this bracket. Haven't got much time today, so I'm gonna rip into this now. All right, this is our cardboard cutout. Let's just do the YouTube magic. Bam-a-dam. I was gonna weld it in before I did this, but I decided I need to drill the holes first. I have put some slits into the metal because where this is actually getting welded into is a crash point. I do get hit here a lot. As you can see, there's a bit of, well, that's actually my wheel breaking, but like it's a prone area for damage. And so if I do get hit, I don't want this thing to, you know, shoot out of the fiberglass, because these actually, the R33 four-door wide body aren't actually in production anymore. The company's gone out of business or whatever, but let's mark these holes and drill them. Test 1. Just like that, we have water sprayers to the radiator and to our oil cooler. I originally wasn't going to do the oil cooler, but it's right there, and I had 2 more extra sprayers. So I did. It definitely made it a bit more complex, but as you can see, got a T-piece and looping them. It doesn't look the prettiest, but that's okay because we have our grill and our little panel there covers it up, so it's perfect. I'm actually really happy with it. You might have seen in that video that these bottom ones were hitting the top of the oil cooler, but that's no issue because I can just legit just like bend it down and it will then hit it, you know, so just like that. It should definitely hit the oil cooler. I'm pretty happy with the whole setup overall. Just got the single line that runs the entire length of the car, goes over here, and then it just runs alongside the cage. Here's our 2 little switches. I've made it pretty simple for me. Green tires, red radiator. So they were meant to have LEDs, but I couldn't figure out how to make them work because I wired them different to the way the switches were. And also got to give a shout out to Bailey. He helped step by step me along because I am terrible when it comes to wiring. So I'm pretty happy with that. When the wheel's on, it's perfect view to see them. So hopefully I don't leave them on when I'm at the track. Come back here. We've got our wires done with 2 30-amp relays. And then obviously our hoses. I did modify this plate a little bit. If you look under there, I folded the 2 lips in the direct line of the jets just up. So hopefully when the tire's spinning like this, it's not going to shoot rubber up at the jets and block them. I still got to do this side, but that's hopefully something that just helps with the longevity of these jets because they are just a cheap thing from Bunnings. Alrighty, that is it. I have finished the water sprayer system and overall, I'm really happy with it. It did take me a lot longer than I was hoping. I was hoping to sort of do it over the space of a day and a half. I've had to make custom brackets, a bunch of other things like that. But in the end, it's come up really good. It works how I want it to work. But the thing is now, will it actually work in the setting of drifting and driving? Is that tank going to be big enough? I've spoken to a few friends who run water setups in South Australia. And one of my friends, Cale Scott, he actually runs 45 litres in his boot. He says I'm being a bit ambitious with 8 litres, but I'm hoping that will give us some insight whether this is actually going to work. He reckons it does, but obviously it's going to be different for everyone else. I think my car makes like an extra 50 kilowatt, might have more wheel speed. You know, there's so many variables when it comes to this. So I'm really hoping, fingers crossed, that it's enough for the weekend. If not, I'll have to keep coming in, topping the water up, and this is what it is. I was hoping to do it for under $100. We have blown out the budget, unfortunately. You could definitely do it for cheaper than what I've done it for. I went to the Wreckers and I just bought a washer bottle and washer motors, and they were $35. Then I went to J-Car and got some electrical stuff. So I ended up getting 2 switches, 2 relays, and 2 relay holders. And that ended up coming to $46.80 from Bunnings. I had to get the micro sprayers plus the 4mm hose. I got some T-bits and some 90s, and that ended up coming to $36.95. If you can do some quick math, $118.75. Overall, I believe it's gonna be worth it. So if you can even get 2 extra laps out of tires from using water sprayers, it's gonna pay itself off over the space of an event. So this car will normally do, let's say, 3-4 laps to a pair of tires. If I can get 5 or 6 laps, that's going to save me time and my sponsor, Elite Auto Garage, money. So I'm pretty excited to try it out. I do remember the last time I drove in South Australia, the car was getting hot, so I had to pull the bonnet off. So hopefully that is also another thing where spraying on the radiator and the oil cooler helps keep the temps down, so the car can just be happier and I can not have to do cool down laps. If you want to see if it actually worked, I will be posting a video next weekend of us at Tailem Bend in South Australia, and that we're actually doing roller racing as well in this. I'm borrowing a pair of semi-slicks off my friend Grubby, and we're gonna chuck them on the rear and try go beat some Falcons. If you watched this far, please make sure you hit the like button and subscribe. Leave a comment, let me know if you think the 8 litres is gonna be enough or if you think it's gonna even work. I'm interested to see people's thoughts and what they've also done to their cars, if it has benefited you in certain ways. So anyway, thanks for watching. See you guys in the next video. Wish us luck at Tailem Bend. $118, far out. It's a week's wage.